Hi, it's me, Galen. Galen's got Parkinson's. If anyone asks me now why I still use Warhammer Siege, and I use it in historical games as well as fantasy games, it's just because it works. It still works. Okay, it has flaws, but any other system that people invent has flaws. I mean, even simple things like the ladder rules. From this, I use in all of my games where people are carrying ladders. I've most recently used them in a Sudan game where the Mahdists were attacking a British fort carrying ladders. Grappling hooks. Ninjas in Test of Honour have got grappling hooks. They are simple rules, and they are sensible rules, and they work. And like I would say, all of these Games Workshop books, they are beautiful books to look at. Although the book was last had a publication run was in 1998, there are still massive numbers of copies of this available. I just looked on eBay this morning, and there were 108 listed as new, round about the £30 mark, which, to be honest, is, in real terms, about what we paid for them back in the late 90s. There are things in the sort of Black Library element of Warhammer, especially 40k, which cover specific sieges, but they haven't done this book as a new edition since 98. It doesn't matter. So here you've got all the damage charts. So wall damage chart, tower damage chart, ramparts, gates. And because in Warhammer we have things like dwarf artillery, we've got the effects of artillery fire on castles, as well as the more conventional, perhaps medieval type damage, battering rams, digging tunnels under walls, formations when you're attacking. They're all just as relevant today. I was playing Rapid Fire over Christmas, World War II game, and I had a Sherman tank firing into an Italian building. And the rules in Rapid Fire for damaging buildings and calculating the injuries inside are not as good as this. These rules are much better. And it's very easy to say, all right, it's an explosion on a stone building. That's what it does. So easily transferable. It's brilliant book. This Monday night coming, we are playing at the club a game of Test of Honour, Japanese game. This is super, because if you want to equip a defender on my friend's Japanese castle with boiling oil, it's going to cost him 25 points for a cauldron. Now, the game we play generally, you only have 24 points for an army, which means he's not doing that. But he could spend 5 points on a ladder, 1 point on a grappling hook, 1 point on mantlets and things that are more sensible. So you can see, if only on this you say, look, all right, this has to be a big game. If I want a siege tower, it's going to cost me 100 points. A battering ram is 50 points. Now, because we play campaigns, we know how many gold pieces our armies have. You could easily convert that to gold pieces and say, okay, I've got 600 gold pieces in the bank. I'm going to have a siege tower, 2 battering rams, that's 200. I'll have a few log rams, a couple of ladders. I could equip an army. Or similarly, if I was defending a castle, I could buy the equipment to defend the castle. But it's sort of a point system away from your army. You could have it separate. You've got 24-point army, and you could have 200-point defenders. Something like that. It would depend on the type of castle, wouldn't it? Or what sort of game you play, how you like to adapt things. But the information's here. Or you might say, well, 100's too much. Let's make it 10 and 5 and 1. Again, it depends what sort of game you want. And the campaign fits so beautifully into this, it's almost like a catalogue of prices, an Argos catalogue for the medieval world. Now, for me personally, I saw one of the criticisms of this book as a positive. My hand is shaking far too much to hold the camera. Short pause while I adjust my accoutrements. There are 88 pages in this book. 32 of them, well, maybe 30 of them are actually rules for a siege, because we are now moving into the pages about how to build the models yourself to make the castles and the towers and the turrets and the ladders that you're able to use in the game. Now, I like that, but I understand that not everybody did. And the pictures were aspirational. Who would not dream of having a castle that looked like that? Our big club battle this month is going to be, I'm pretty sure it's medieval, and I've heard rumours that it's the Battle of Lewes, which is Simon de Montfort and Edward III, which is a big important game in relationship to the development of the British parliamentary system in the 13th century. I might be wrong, but this castle is makeable. It's makeable out of cornflakes boxes and polyfiller and old craft knives, packaging out of boxes. It's not expensive to do, and it is an effect you can achieve relatively easily with a little bit of thought and a little bit of planning. I tell you what it is, for those of us who are of a certain generation, it's a lot better than the Airfix Robin Hood Sheriff of Nottingham's castle, which costs a lot more. I mean, that's a beautiful, whether you like Warhammer or what, that is a beautiful sight, and I challenge any of you to tell me that that does not look gorgeous. Impractical, maybe. Gorgeous, certainly. This is page 46, 47, the Siege Towers. They're magnificent. They are magnificent. And the one on the left, the Orc one here, is only made out of broken bits of balsa wood and matchsticks, things that you'd have in your scrap box. Even the wheels you could, at a pinch, make. That was always my favourite to make, with the hide panelling, which I just made out of glue tubes. You know, the old Copydex PVA glue in tubes. It's our old toothpaste tubes, as was back in the day. They're all plastic now. But there used to be that metal that was dead soft. You could unfold it, and it made really good flags, and it made good hide. This is a special Christmas, birthday, Yuletide joke. It's my birthday today. Happy birthday, me. Hello. I don't look a day over 70. So I'm telegraphing this. Now, most people have not watched this far. Most people have switched off. I've looked at the stats and the analytics. There's not many people left. So this is just for you. Okay? Telegraph joke. There's a joke coming. Now, the bookends with, if you don't get it, the bookends with a whole section of scenarios, rosters, sorting out your army, and again, looking at the page, that's still a good 20, 30 pages. I think the question at the start was, why do I still use this book? Well, because it's brilliant. There you go. You can adapt it to any historical, fantasy, sci-fi genre. You can. That sounded a bit posh then, didn't it? Genre. The materials used in the construction, and it gives you really good insight into terrain building and things, which I've always liked doing. Before that, again, great fun. It's got some scenarios in which you might like, you might not. Don't matter. They're there. It's all, and it's things like not. You don't have to have a siege. You could starve people out during a campaign. How does that work? And I employ that all the time. This book available for about £20 to £30 on eBay. Fully as new, it says. I think it's worth every penny. If someone can tell me of a siege book that's as good, if not better, and applicable to every period and every scenario of urban type warfare ever, I'd love to hear. Tell me in the comments. Anyway, happy birthday to me, ta-ra, Chuck.